Okay. And while we have that, let's go ahead and okay. So anyway, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the January PAC session. So hopefully all of you saw that this meeting is, or this session is only being held via Zoom this month. So we are going to change the order a little bit this month, and we will start with updates from Katie Berger from the Student Life Office. So
good morning. Thank you for accommodating a quick little schedule change. It is a busy Saturday, and so I really appreciate it. And thank you all for being flexible in the format of your meeting and agreeing to a completely virtual meeting in support of our preview day that's happening on campus today. I wanted to really start off and talk through the threat to safety on campus that you were all made aware of this past Sunday, and just provide some basic information, as this is the first time that we're really conversing, myself and many of you as parents. And then I'll provide a couple of other updates as to what's going on campus and can answer a couple of questions too. So first of all, I just want to recognize that our IMSA students and staff really did their part by reporting the threat, by responding immediately, by prioritizing student and staff safety, calling the police, communicating, and we will continue to do our part in providing support to our students and to our staff who were impacted. A lot of questions are surrounding really what is next. And when I was on campus on Sunday evening, that was really, I got two questions. One was about what rewards program I have for Domino's, because we ordered a lot of pizza. And then the other one is about what is happening next. And I was chuckling at the students' resilience that was literally the first question I got when I walked in the door, was about a pizza rewards program. But really the primary question is about what's happening next. And we are continuing to cooperate with APD in their investigation, and really that is the primary route that this is going at this point in time. That does not prevent IMSA from pursuing our disciplinary process simultaneously. And while I cannot comment on any specific student case, what I can do is refer to our handbook and our policies, which I love to do anyways. So threats of this kind would be investigated as a Tier 3 infraction. And again, you all understand as parents, there is not specificity in what I can share at this point, as this is an ongoing investigation with the police and within our process. But that is kind of the contextual information that I can share. Safety continues to be our #1 priority on campus. As you hopefully know from our emails, we did bring in some counseling on Monday for our students, despite it being an academy closure day. And we had our school counselors meet with our RCs on Tuesday to discuss what trends they were seeing from the students, to discuss ways RCs can also process and cope, and then to talk through ways to best support students in the residence halls. Our counselors continue to be available to our students. I will share that based on what we know from the past, when we have initiated groups to work with our counselors to process with students, that has not been something that our students have particularly enjoyed or showed up to. And so what we know from past trends is what is best for our community and our population is typically to ensure our counselors are available for one-on-one counseling, or small group if a student wants to come in with a friend or two. We're totally open to that. And to best equip some of our colleagues, our RCs, our faculty, to facilitate conversations in classes and in small community groups such as Wings. You can refer your student to see a counselor by emailing our counseling team. I'll pop that when I'm done speaking. I'll pop that email address in the chat for all of you to reference. And our counselors are really great at pulling the students in, and pulling the students in and not necessarily outing the fact that you as a parent perhaps preferred the student to see a counselor. So if you would prefer that the counselors check in with the student and not necessarily identify that you suggested it, we're okay with that too. We did have a crisis counselor on campus to speak to our colleagues as well, and provided information about our employee assistance program, which also offers a number of resources. As far as communication goes, we aim to have timely communication with accurate information, of course. I know some of the feedback that I've received is that quicker communication could have occurred and that text alerts would have been really helpful. And we're reviewing all of that as part of the after action review. And I certainly appreciate the feedback as to things that went well as things that could be improved. We always have to balance, if once we receive information, there has to be a balance of reviewing the information we receive, pulling in outside agencies, in this case, the police, if needed, and then providing timely and accurate information. And so there's that balancing act of making sure we review credibility of information, assess information, and then communicate out to students and families what is happening. And that need to kind of investigate first. I agree that maybe we could be been a little quicker. I think we were really quick and really great when it came to the response on the ground of what was happening on campus. And we could have been a little quicker when it comes to communication. And I continue to be very proud of our team and how they responded, and know that we have a learning opportunity for the future, because we know for you as parents, it's really important for you to know that your children are safe. If there are questions related to this incident that I can clarify for anyone, I'm happy to pause now and do that before I move on to other topics. I can check the chat real quick. I see that there was just a yes.
Okay. I was not sure the rules. This is my first meeting with the PAC, so I think we just jump in with a question. So thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate that. So my question is like two questions, in fact. Number one is who and how they found out about the threat. That was my question one. And question two is, what are the typical disciplinary actions in Tier 3 infractions?
Yes. So the information was shared with us by a student. A student had received concerning communication from another student and went to a couple of RCs and said, hey, I'm really worried. I'm not sure what to do. And that's really where our action plan was kind of enacted from there. So when I say that our students and our staff did their part in reporting the threat, it really was both of those groups working together and responding quickly and appropriately. A Tier 3 infraction is the highest level of infraction we have at the Academy. If somebody is found to have committed a Tier 3 infraction, it is an automatic 10-day academic suspension and an automatic dismissal hearing. And that dismissal hearing goes through Dr. Quashie Anderson as our principal and a committee of individuals who serve on that dismissal committee. The individual who made the threats is not on campus, will not be on campus at this time. And so I do want to make that really clear.
It is my understanding also that there is a possible criminal charges coming, pending, or already charged. I'm not sure, but is that accurate?
I am not comfortable responding to that right now because it is an ongoing legal matter and because the person involved is a minor, a juvenile, and I'm not comfortable responding to that right now.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to continue with some other updates. And if people have questions that they would rather message me privately, I'm fine to answer questions privately. I do have a time crunch today with commitment, so I'll only be able to stay on for a few minutes after I conclude my remarks. But
so Katie, one quick question, Katie, before you move on. How were the students on campus informed of what was happening? It sounded like most of the students weren't sure what was going on. The parents actually got the email before the students understood what was happening. Is that correct?
The students and parents received their email at the same time. Students who were impacted or potentially impacted, as in they needed to be relocated or something along those lines, were verbally communicated that information. And For those of you who work in schools, you know that schools are inundated with a lot of information, and oftentimes we need to kind of review that information and get others involved to determine, is this something that requires immediate reaction or does this not require immediate reaction? So initially, our students were not communicated any information until we had the opportunity to have the police come to campus and verify if reaction was needed. And then the students in 1501 in the main building were communicated that they needed to relocate. And that was done by our administrator on call, who at the time was Stephanie Broy, one of our residence life supervisors, and Waylon Murphy, who was as a security lead for us and was the lead officer at the time. And then the email communication followed thereafter, but the email communication to parents and students was at the same time.
Hi, can I ask a question? I know that you are looking into the response time of getting information out to parents and students. The incident was made aware at 3 p.m. on Sunday. The email came through to parents and students, the same email at 7:52 p.m. That's almost 5 hours. And considering the brevity of the situation, there should have been at least a robocall or a mass text that went out saying that that students were being relocated, just so parents were made aware, so that if they got a call from their students saying, hey, I'm a little concerned I don't know what's going on yet, just so that everyone was on the same page. Yes, we didn't have complete details early on, and neither did you, and you were trying to figure it out. I completely understand that, but there should have been some sort of communication at home schools, local public schools. A robocall goes out immediately when there's any sort of lockdown, a soft lockdown, and this is what that was. I drove out, spoke to the Aurora Police Department, and got further information and have more details. So there should not have been a 5-hour delay in getting out any sort of information to parents whatsoever. I understand the full information will never be released to parents. I understand that it was a ongoing situation, but something regarding the fact that there was a lockdown going on campus, that it originally was just the main building in 01, and then it was the outside grounds as well. That should have been reiterated to parents much sooner than 5 hours.
I appreciate that feedback, and I'll share that with our communications team and with all of our other individuals who are responsible for responding in these incidents. The lockdown was not initiated by APD, and I shouldn't say lockdown, excuse me, I misspoke. The evacuation of 1501 in the main building, when those buildings needed to be searched and secured by APD, that was not initiated by APD until around 5 p.m. And so I understand that your feedback still stands, and that communication could have happened sooner and quicker. And I just want to clarify that that was not initiated at 3 p.m. That was initiated at 5 p.m.
Yeah, I understand that. Then by 5:15 p.m., there should have been a robocall going out to parents saying that there is this incident going on. I mean,
Yes,
because by that point, those of us that have access to police departments knew that something was going down. And so it's, as parents, we turn our children over to you, and we expect complete and full safety, and we appreciate everything that you were doing. But I'm saying in the future, as you said, this is a learning experience, and that it should be a much quicker response. I have a child that is graduating this year, so, you know, I could wipe my hands and say this will be somebody else's problem. No, these are everybody's children. This is a concern that concerns everybody. These are the times we live in. And I would love for everybody to feel as safe as possible. And so I would like this to be a learning experience, and to see proper action being taken in the future.
I agree. Thank you for that feedback. And thank you for
you.
acknowledging that the most rapid reaction was to the safety. And I think that all of the after action reports are going to show that our team, as far as their physical response to creating safety for our students, was really on point. And that is something that we have received feedback on from APD and others as well. And that I'm grateful that our learning opportunity is not about how we responded to securing campus and safety, and that our learning is related to communication. It's absolutely learning, and it's absolutely something we need to do better on. And I hope that it's not lost that the safety of our students was the top priority.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I agree. The children were as safe as they could be considering the circumstances. And I understand that IMSA does have the children's safety at heart. And as you know, you're a teaching institution, education, and you also have the burden of safety of, hundreds of students. And so I greatly appreciate that. But communication is something that we need to stay abreast of with changing times and things
Yep.
change. And so you guys are learning as to, unfortunately, these are very different times. And so going forward, you have this to build upon. Thank you.
Absolutely. We had a 3-day NASRO training on campus that first week of January when our students were still off, but some of our colleagues were back. And so all of our security team went through a 24-hour training with NASRO, and I had the opportunity to sit in on portions of it. And the individual who was leading the training said, when something happens on campus on Saturday, you got to be ready to go Monday morning. And one thing that I raised my hand and I shared, no, we got to be ready to go Saturday because our students live with us. It is 24/7. And so while other institutions may have students only physically present on campus, when all of their colleagues are in the building, their comms team and everybody, we are really 24/7 wanting to care for and support and respond to our students. And the reality is that when this incident occurred, we didn't have every single team member on campus. It was a Sunday. And so that is, again, a learning opportunity of making sure that we are able to quickly operationalize as we need to operationalize. Okay, I'm going to do just a couple of other reminders. And then if there are other pieces of information that people want to share or ask, certainly feel free to do so. I promised our senior class club that I would plug senior auction, which is happening on Tuesday, January 24th at 5:30 p.m. in the auditorium. And for the first time ever, they are also going to broadcast it online so that families, staff, anybody can join and bid from afar, from wherever they are. So there's going to be an email going out with a link to the live stream on Monday. So if that's something that you're interested in, that's great. Chloe also said, if you want to donate but need more time, no problem. We're extending the deadline until Monday at midday. So Monday at lunchtime. So feel free to reach out to Chloe if you have any questions. Chloe Cadis is our coordinator for student activities and is also the staff member who is coordinating that with our senior class club. I also know that as we're coming back to campus and it's cold out and it gets dark earlier, there continues to be just questions about what we can do to enhance programming over the weekend and in the evenings. I think some of you have noted and you've been excited that there's been some extended evening hours with the gym and with N2 and with the library. And so we will continue to focus on that. We are looking at how we can have our Res Life team open the fitness center since our fitness center coordinator is not on campus on the weekends, and just be able to do a little bit more for students. So if you have specific ideas, feel free to reach out to your students RC and share those ideas, since our RCs are primarily the ones facilitating the programming on the weekends, or you can always send a note to me in the chat and we will continue to look at ways to build that for our students. I'm going to mute because I think it probably took up more time than Maria and the PAC anticipated I would, but I am happy to answer some questions by chat for the next few minutes before I have to hop off. So thank you for adjusting the schedule and allowing me to go first. I wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to be here with you all this morning and at minimum be able to address the threatening situation from this past weekend.
Thank you, Katie, for sharing those updates and taking the time to answer questions. As she mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot it over to her via chat. And I also wanted to point out, in case people aren't aware, on the introduction slides on the bottom left, you'll see the email address of the speakers. So if you do have any questions for them, it's there. And also this slide deck and recording will be sent out later this upcoming week. So thanks again. Okay, and next we will be sharing updates from our PAC's executive board. So first up is me. And so I just wanted to share a reminder for everyone that, yes, with this graphic, we want you. So consider applying for the PAC Executive Board for next school year. The elections are coming soon. More details will be sent out in the next couple of months, but I just wanted to share that in case any of you are interested in applying for the Executive Board. So the structure of how the Executive Board is elected changed last year. So just to remind everyone, you would not be running for a specific Executive Board position, but for one of the positions within the Executive Board, and then the ones with the highest votes become the Executive Board and then decide amongst themselves who will take on each position. So that is for President, Vice President, Secretary, and Treasurer. And then we also have the 3 roles of Sophomore Parent Representative, Junior Parent Representative, and Senior Parent Representative, which are then appointed by the Executive Board. So again, keep that in mind. We really do appreciate all of the help. And I know the upcoming parents would appreciate the help as well. So also along those lines, you can also consider chairing one of the committees. So if being on the Executive Board is not something that you're interested in or time-wise can't commit to, there's also lots of ways to still be involved in the PAC, and that's chairing one of the committees. So we do have quite a few parents of seniors this year who will unfortunately not be returning as chairs next year. So it's really crucial that we do have some parents of sophomores and juniors stepping up and helping to chair one of those committees for next year. So you can always send an email either to myself, president@imsapac.org, or info@imsapac.org if you want more information or want to get connected to one of our current chairs. But if you go on the website and go to that link right there under About Us and Contact Us, you can find the email addresses for those different committee chairs, the current committee chairs, and reach out to them directly as well. Okay, so next we have Shelley Lemons, our Vice President.
Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to say hello. Thank you so much for always being willing to step up and oh, there's my family. I forgot that slide was in there, Maria. I said I am a parent of a senior, Sasha, in the class of 23, so will not be continuing the PAC next year, but I will give a shout out if you think that the Executive Board is something you might be interested in. Don't hesitate to reach out, send me an email. I would be happy to answer any questions that from my perspective of how it has gone this year. But next slide, Maria. What I really wanted to say during our meeting today was just a big hearty thank you. I have sent out several requests for volunteers throughout this academic year already, and always get more than enough people willing to help with the Office of Admissions, with the different events that are going on. And I also want to say it's not the same people every time. So I would hope that if you have volunteered already, that you might be interested in one of the upcoming positions on a PAC committee. And if you haven't had a chance to volunteer and you want to take a little bit of a like dip your toe in the water when the next rounds come out, shoot me an email and let me know how you would like to participate. Big, big thank you to all of our parent volunteers. You guys are really the best. And that's all I have for today.
Thanks, Shelley. And I did actually want to jump in as well because I was one of the panelists for one of the volunteer opportunities that she sent out with admissions. And so we did get feedback from the admissions department that they got feedback from attendees who were parents of potential IMSA applicants who actually reached out and let them know that because they were able to hear from current parents that they actually were able to change their mind about allowing their child to apply because they had some concerns prior to that. So again, every little bit helps. So if you're interested in helping out when she sends out that call to action, feel free to reach out to her. Thanks again, Shelley.
And we know just from the conversation today, parents in the PAC really do care, and we have a lot of really great ideas. And so it's wonderful whenever you can take a formal opportunity. But as Maria said, you can always send an email, and just if you have ideas or things that you might want from PAC or need from PAC, we're happy to take those forward for discussion.
Yes, thank you. And also I did want to point out, because between Shelley, who's in Belleville, and Jen, who is not too far from Shelley, really to showcase that you don't have to be local to be involved in either the executive board or be a committee chair. So just wanted to share that too. No matter how far you are, there's still opportunities for you to be involved. Okay, so next we've got Jen Mock, our treasurer.
Hello, good morning. If you'll go to the next slide for me. And the next slide after that. December financial report is now available. Of course, we report in the previous month. So at the end of 2022, our assets were $58,362. We did have a PayPal transfer balance after the 1st of January, so we were slightly off on the balance sheet. But other than that, things look normal. If you'll go to the next slide for me, please. This is I thought this month I would provide an actual comparison of what we've received and what we estimated in the budget for this school year. So as of today, we've received about half the funds from IMSA that we expected to receive. Our bus ticket sales, we've gotten a little bit over income that's based on single ride tickets. So let me just go through that really quick and see. Miscellaneous fundraisers, those are from the small events that we tried to have with like Panera and other local restaurants for income. The Amazon has let us know that they are ending their Smile program, so we will no longer be generating any revenue from Amazon Smile after February of this year. And if you'll go to the next slide for me, please. Our expenses are on target. Bus transportation, we do have about half of the year paid for. Senior banquet, of course, that balance won't be paid until after we have the senior banquet. We have made the deposit for the 2024 senior banquet. And then everything else is on target. Just a reminder to the committees, if you have outstanding invoices or receipts that need to be reimbursed, please submit those to me as soon as possible. And you can find the reimbursement form on the bottom of every page of our PAC website if you've forgotten where it's at. If you'll go to the next slide for me, please. And that's all for me. Of course, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to share any information with you in regards to our budget or the treasurer duties. And you can just send me an email at treasurer@imsapac.org. Thanks all. Good morning.
Thanks, Jen. So Rashmi, are you on the call this morning? Well, I wanted to share for sophomore parent representative. She does have some upcoming meetings, and thank you to all the parents that have attended the meetings. We see that it's pretty well attended and lots of great discussion that's going on. So the next one is on Tuesday, January 31st at 8 p.m. You can find the Zoom link either by going to the PAC's website and clicking on sophomore parents, or you can scan this QR code, which will take you directly to the page. Next, we've got junior parent representative. Maitri, are you on the call? Okay, so she has an upcoming meeting as well for parents of juniors. So that's on Tuesday, January 26th at 8 p.m. The Zoom link is under junior parents page of the website. You can also scan this QR code. And I apologize, I think hers is Google Meets. So that's a Google Meets link that will be on that page. And then next we have senior parent representative. Piyush, are you on the call? Okay. So for seniors, your upcoming meeting is on Tuesday, January 26th at 8 p.m. Zoom link again is on the senior parents page of the PAC website, or you can scan this QR code here. And next we have updates from our committees. So the first one is our academic committee.
Good morning. My name is Sonia Harrington. I'm one of the co-chairs for the academic committee. Go to the next slide, please. Next one. Just some quick updates. Over the fall, at the end of the semester, the PAC was able to provide students with pizza as they were studying. So we did 80 pizzas around that time, and then we're looking to do that again in the spring. So if we reach out to parents with any support that's needed to bring that to the students, we would appreciate your support there. And then a shout out to Amy Keck for helping us with the organization of that study session pizza party. Next slide, please. Just kind of some general information about what the academic committee does. We want to help you get questions answered. So we facilitate getting academic questions answered with our principal, Dr. Quadri Anderson. We meet with her once a month. And so there's just a couple of links there if you wanted to send any questions that you had, either to your class representative or directly to the academic committee. You can use the email address for us there, the academic committee email. Or you can also view a lot of academic support information that's found on our website that has the link there. And that's all I had today.
Thanks, Anya.
Welcome.
Okay, next we have our Friday Fest committee.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so next slide, please. So our next Friday Fest is coming up quick. It is this coming Friday, January 27th. Next slide, please. We still need volunteers if we're going to be able to run this coming Friday Fest. If you are wanting to sign up and you haven't yet, the link to sign up either to donate food or to be a parent volunteer is on the website at under the Friday Fest tab. Next slide. So originally we had said that the deadline to sign up would have been this past Friday. However, we haven't received enough people volunteering. We might be able to compensate for the food that we don't have. However, we need parent volunteers. We specifically need someone to sign up for the shuttle supervisor, which are parents who help collect the food as it's being dropped off. We had someone back out that is no longer able to serve in that capacity. So if you're interested in that, there are also several other spots that we do need parent volunteers for in order to be able to have Friday Fest. We don't really want to cancel. We know how much our kids absolutely love Friday Fest. So if you're available, please sign up. Next slide. And if you have any questions about anything to do with Friday Fest, you can reach out to us at fridayfest@imsapac.org. And also, if you're interested in being a co-chair, both Carrie and I have senior students, so we won't be here next year, but we would love to have you join us and we could mentor you for the remainder of the year to prepare for next year. That's all I've got. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Melissa. Okay, so next we just have a little plea for Hospitality Committee. So right now we don't have a Hospitality Committee chair. So in the meantime, if someone is available to help set up before and clean up the refreshments for the PAC session on February 11th at IMSA, be greatly appreciated. So if you could email info@imsapac.org if you're available. So really it's pretty easy. The past few meetings, we've just had the food delivered directly to IMSA. So it's just a matter of someone coming in to help set it up. And then after the session, just helping to clean it up and get the extra food over to, we usually give it to security if there's not a whole lot left. So again, because the rest of us are working on setting up for the session. So again, if we just have one person that can step up and help out for the February 11 PAC session, we greatly appreciate it. So next we've got a Multicultural Committee.
Hi, good morning, PAC parents. My name is Maylin Lu. I'm one of the co-chair for the Multicultural Committee. Next slide, Maria, please. Next slide. We just skip those. Margaret is one of the another co-chair. Next slide. So we have a event come up, which is in 2 weeks, as February 3rd and 4th, with the Asian Culture Club and the Latino Culture Club, we do need a lot of help from the parents for donating food. I think in this year, probably we can plan better with the Friday Fest committee because every time was back to back. So we'll try to at least separate like in a different month or at least 2 weeks. And as for the specifics about these two cultures, I think there's two representatives from each of the culture. They'd like to speak to us what's the culture show is about. Marcus, are you on the Zoom? Go ahead, unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. My name is Marcus. I am on Alma Latina, which is the Latinx Culture Club at IMSA. I'm the junior representative. And thank you for having us on this meeting. I'd like to explain what the culture show is. So this year, we are having a show called Casa de la Luna, which is the joint Latinx and Asian culture show. As many of you might know, the culture shows are one of the most anticipated events of the year in the student body. There's dances, there's other acts like music and singing. It's a very important event for IMSA culture and for our respective cultures. And a big part of everyone's culture is food. And so we'd love to ask you for donations. We would like to run it similar to how a Friday Fest is run, where we would accept food donations and then serve them in Lexington after the show on Friday, February 3rd. Food is a big part of culture and it has a lot of significance for the student body, and it would really attract a lot of people to our show as well and help us celebrate our cultures. And so we would really appreciate if you guys can donate. We understand it's short notice, and we also understand that it's back to back with the Friday Fest. Specifically, we would be asking for Latinx and Asian food for this event, and we would want it similar to how it was done for Diwali Harambe show, if you guys remember that. But anything you guys can donate, we would really appreciate. Okay, I'll pass it over to my friend on the Asia board, Zuyu.
Zuyu, go ahead.
Yeah, hi guys, my name is Zuyu and I'm a junior representative on Asia board. And yeah, everything that Marcus has said, we would like as much donations as possible because food is so important. And like we want our student body, not just for performers, to like taste and really experience food from different cultures. So we'll be giving, we have like lists of requests of possible foods, and that list will finalize around Saturday and Sunday. And do we talk about like, because Asia and Alma Latina still wants food on Friday, because we're concerned that if we serve food during the parent show, that a lot of students leave for the weekends or have things on Saturdays, that we won't be like getting the purpose of like serving cultural food to the entire student body. So if that's fine with you guys, we still like food on Friday. And yeah, that's about it. That's about all I have to say.
Okay, thank you very much, both. Also, like Zuyu mentioned, so the food will be for Friday for the student. And I know the parents may have to drop twice, right, on Friday, and also come to see the show on Saturday. But that's all for the student. Margaret is also going to, her daughter is graduating, so we do need another co-chair for the Multicultural Committee. So if anybody is interested, let us know, so maybe we can work together for this semester.
Hey, Mei-Ling.
Jim?
Yes, there's a question in the chat. What time is the parent show on the 4th?
Marcus, Zui, do you guys know, have the specific time yet? I think it will be similar as the last culture show.
Yes.
But I will find out. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure we have an exact time. We probably do, but I don't know it offhand, but it's definitely in the evening, like around 5:30 or 6, it would start. And then the show is 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, we'll send an email by Monday, all the time details. Yeah, the food donation, we'll create one by Monday. They don't have the list yet, so we're waiting for their list.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, and here's the information.
Yeah, they already explained, so.
Okay, yes. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and next we have Regional Representatives Committee. So Susan.
Hi, everybody, this is Susan. I know that it's cold and we have snow in the forecast, but regional representatives are thinking about summer and our wonderful IMSA picnics. If you can go to the next slide for me. Unfortunately, neither Kemi or I will be able to come back next year as co-chairs. My son will be graduating in the spring. We do have one person signed up to be a co-chair so far for the next school year, but it'd be really good to have another person to help just with organization of the individual reps and the picnics. If you can go to the next slide. We are also looking for regional reps for all of our regions, 1 through 10, to help plan and carry out the summer picnics. We have a couple of returning reps, which is great, but we had a lot of senior parents that helped as regional reps, so we are losing a lot of our seasoned regional reps. If you can go to the next slide. Here's just a list of regions, just in case anyone has forgotten which region they're in. If you can go to the next one, I think we have the Chicago Metro map. And next one, please. If anyone has any questions about what it would entail to be a regional rep or a regional rep co-chair, you can reach me at region1@imsapac.org. Or if you have any questions about what region you're in, just shoot me an email and I can help you look it up and find out what region you'd be part of. It's a great event. It's a great way to get kids ready for the school year and to meet all the incoming sophomores and help answer some questions for our nervous parents and students alike.
Great. And just out of curiosity, if you guys want to put in the chat, if you've ever attended a regional representative picnic, I'd love to hear how many have attended and how much fun you had. Hopefully you had a lot of fun. Okay. Thanks, Susan.
Thank you.
Okay, and next we have Senior Banquet Committee. So just wanted to share the information about Senior Banquet is on Friday, June 2nd, which is the night before graduation. And here's the lineup of events. So parents of seniors, tickets are on sale now. So if you have not purchased your tickets yet, or if your student hasn't purchased tickets yet, the QR code here, you can scan it and go ahead and purchase the tickets. Make sure you read all the FAQs and the senior banquet policy prior to registering. So right now, each student, there is reserved a ticket for themselves and 2 guests, and then there are some extra tickets available. Those are on a first come, first served basis until extra seats are sold out. We do ask that you shoot an email to banquet@imsapac.org. I believe that's the process. Jen, or if one of the senior banquet committee chairs are on the call, if that is not the process, just jump in and clarify that. But if you're unable to attend, they do ask that you let them know so those tickets can be released to others who may need some extra tickets. So again, the tickets are available to be purchased until April 1st. And if you're interested in helping out Senior Banquet Committee, the next meeting is on Saturday, February 25th from 9 to 10 a.m. And the meeting link is on the website under Senior Banquet 2023. And if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat or unmute and let us know.
Hey, Maria, this is Jen. I just wanted to give a quick update for registration. We have about 60 seniors who have already registered. And again, the Senior Banquet Committee does guarantee you a spot, your student a spot with 2 guests. Once those extra tickets are sold, we cannot get any additional seats. So if you have more than 2 guests coming with your senior, please reserve as soon as possible because those extra seats are going quickly. So if you're taking more than your student and 2 guests, reserve soon. And then once again, Maria was right. If you are not attending the senior banquet, please let us know as well so we can release those seats to people who may need extra seats. Also, there's been a couple of questions about the vegetarian dish. The Indian dish that we are offering right now, we do not know if it's going to be vegetarian or not. Last year's was meatless. I don't know if all the ingredients were vegetarian. So once we finalize that menu, we will let all the parents know. We will not know the exact ingredients or what the meal offering will be until after we do the taste test, which won't be for a couple more months yet with the venue. So if you have any questions, shoot us an email at banquet@imsapac.org and we'll try to answer those the best we can. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and next we have Student Life Committee. Susan?
Hi again, everybody. If you'll go to the next slide for me. This is all of our lovely co-chairs. If you go to the next slide. So wing parents really rocked in the month of December. We did so many things to help with the pre-exam nerves of our students. We had cookies, hot chocolate, popcorn movie nights, pizza dinners, different types of other dinners that were delivered, wing decorations, and so much more. There's some really cool pictures on this slide. And if you go to the next page, those are some more wonderful crafts. Like I said, hall decorations, really making our kids have a good couple of weeks before the winter break. And next slide. So we have some upcoming events. We have Valentine's Day, of course, Pi Day is coming up, and spring break. So if you are interested still in being a wing parent, there's always time. It's not too late if you want to join. You can contact us at studentlife@imsapac.org, or if you have any questions about events that have been happening in the wings, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan, and thanks to all the wing parents. Okay, and next we have updates from IMSA representatives. So Student Council, Matri, are you on?
Yes, hi. Can you go to the next slide? Okay, thank you. So we don't really have any major updates because of the winter break, but I still have some things to go over. There have been new laundry machines that have been put in. So there's no more laundry cards. Your students will have to download an app on their phone, and any money that was on their card can be transferred to the app. You just have to ask the RCs, and it's a pretty easy process. Other projects from the Res Life team, there's new flooring on bridges for all the halls. If you don't know, the bridges are like the top floor of the halls, and they connect all the wings together. It's where the laundry machines are. There's been pest control in the dorms, and all the carpets have been deep cleaned. And then for Lexington updates, the Wednesday schedule has changed, so there will no longer be breakfast on Wednesday mornings. Instead, there will be grab and go and brunch. So you can still get food on Wednesday mornings. It's not like a hot meal, it's grab and go. And then updates to grab and go, there are now croissants and breakfast sandwiches. As a student, I will say the grab and go has been really good recently. And then our special meals for dinners have been continuing. So there was recently a ramen night, which students enjoyed. And then there's soul food next Thursday. And now I will give it over to Jeffrey, who's our new PAC liaison.
Next slide. So I'm Jeffrey. It's my first time here. I'm the sophomore at large, basically. And here's some other updates. So upcoming is Clash, which is one of the bigger IMSA events. So we will have our color reveal for each hall on January 27th. Other study areas have extended hours like the IRC and into Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 6:30 to 9:30 for the IRC, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 to 6 for into, which is a lot better than both of them closing at around 4. The fitness center also got evening hours, which is quite an extension. And for you senior parents, there are now cultural graduation items, and you can have stoles and cords and now allow maximum of 2.
Great. And then for those cultural graduation items, are those something that is being sold by student groups at IMSA, or is that something that the students just provide themselves?
The process for this is that clubs and co-curriculars can submit a design to the principal's office, and then it'll get approved, and they will be buying stoles or cords depending on whatever they want. So it's like student provided.
Thank you.
I have a question. So you're saying the stoles and cords are allowed at graduation?
Yes, this is a new decision that CCE, the Council for Campus Equity, and StudCo have recently been working on. Every student is allowed up to 2 things. You can either have one stole and 1 cord, 2 cords, or 2 stoles. And yeah, the designs have to be approved, but you can wear things now.
Okay. How about decorating it of the caps?
Currently that's still not allowed, but as far as I know, that's not going to be allowed for this year.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I wanted to open it up if anybody has any questions for Student Council.
I had a question about the deep cleaning of the carpets. Is that throughout the residence halls? Because as a room or as a wing parent, I see the carpets in the boys' halls and they seem pretty in need of cleaning. I'll say that. Is that what occurred?
I'm not quite sure, but I believe it was for everything. So I can check, but I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, just wondering because I had thought about bringing in our own kind of cleaner. Even I didn't, obviously probably the rooms weren't done, but I didn't know if that's something that occurs over the summers on those carpetings, just because even during move-in, those carpets seemed pretty nasty, at least on my child's hall.
I mean, the carpets are a little bit old, so I guess that would make sense, but I think they're cleaned thoroughly over the summers, and I don't know about winter break. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And then if you could do us a favor real quick for any new parents who might not know what Clash is, if you could just kind of share a little bit about Clash.
Yes, of course. So Clash is basically like one of the biggest events that IMSA has. It's Clash of the Halls. So all the halls will compete in different events. Like there's a riddles game, there's like game show nights, and then the biggest thing is the pep rally on Thursday night. Each hall like choreographs their own dance, and it's all based off of like a theme that you decide based on your color. It's really good for hall bonding. It's a really fun experience for students. And yeah, it's just like a week of really fun events that ends with a really fun pep rally.
Wonderful, thanks. And it's usually the week before spring break, right?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Any other questions for Student Council? Okay, well, thank you so much, Maitri, and welcome, Jeffrey. Glad to have you as our liaison. So if you have any questions for them, feel free to put it in the chat or share it with us so we can forward it on to them. So again, thank you to both of you. Okay, and then next, we do have Manny from College and Academic Counseling here with us today. So he will be sharing some information. And Manny, are you
Hello.
on? Okay, great.
Oh, yeah. I actually just got on like 2 seconds ago. I was like, wow, I walked right into that, right? Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Let me see. I want to make sure I can see everything you're seeing. So, first of all, our topic today, I want to talk a little bit about the course selection process. So I provided some slides to the PAC, and hopefully everything is up there. Okay, yep, I can see it. Good. Will you guys be clicking the slides for me?
Yes.
Okay, so you can go ahead and get started. Next slide. Thank you. So I want to talk about go over the IMSA graduation requirements, and this is also outlined in the parent handbook. But we want to talk about the crediting courses taken at IMSA. We know there's a minimum of 17 units a student needs to complete in 3 years. And gave a nice breakdown here so you can better understand it. So 8 courses, which is 8 credits, need to be completed in science between sophomore and senior year. 2 semesters of ABS are required in that block, and that's Advanced Biological Systems, the ABS class. Every student needs to complete 6 courses in math completed between sophomore and senior year. An additional 2 courses in math and science need to be completed by every student. And that's really a student's choice. They can pick either discipline they want to take in the math or science area for those additional courses. Every single student needs to complete 6 courses in English. And so every semester, every student must take an English course. 5 courses in history and social sciences must be completed as well. And every single student must take a semester of history and social science every semester. 2 years of world language, that includes all of our world language, but they must finish at the level 2 or higher. So for example, a student needs, if they take German, they would need to have German 2 as well. 1 course in fine arts needs to complete it between sophomore and senior year, and then 2 courses in wellness, including 1 semester course in moving and learning, and then another elective. And all those courses are in our course catalog as well. Next slide, please. So let's talk about some mandatory courses for junior year. These are strictly for our junior parents. This information, each semester, a student must take a minimum of 5 academic courses for a grade, not pass fail. Fine arts and wellness do not count towards the 5 core courses minimum. So for our juniors, 1 math course each semester, ABS each semester, 1 math or science course each semester, 1 English course each semester, and 1 of our HSS course each semester. Also a year-long world language course. And they have the option of taking a wellness or fine arts course as well. Next slide. So for our seniors, the mandatory senior year courses are listed there. Each semester, student must take a minimum of 5 academic courses for a grade. And once again, does not include fine arts and wellness. And the breakdown is very similar. 1 math course each semester, 1 English course, 1 history social science course each semester. Also that math and science course needed. And wellness and fine arts courses are needed for graduation, so they can begin taking some of those courses as well. And they have the option of doing wellness or fine arts, and even some of our students, as you know, do music too. So when I talk about those courses that are not passed, they're not a part of the core courses, the academic courses. For example, like SIR or internship, they can get a pass fail, but those wouldn't be considered 5 of our academic courses that would be required for graduation. And seniors are invited to take an independent study in their senior year, and that also will be a pass fail. Next slide, please. So this is very important, some things that to consider. Since IMSA courses do not have specific designations like most or least rigorous, and in some cases, you know, some schools, let's say, for example, you can check out some of the schools even in the surrounding areas, or most public schools may have AP courses, or they have different designation, IB. IMSA courses don't have that, so our students won't be penalized for that. Colleges only basically, they evaluate those particular courses if they're offered, and they rate them based on that. So they won't penalize for our students for whatever classes they take. In the college admissions process, they look at the requirements per subject, those units to be admitted. That's one of those factors they look at. But they also look at other things, as you know, when factoring in the admissions decision. So we encourage our students to take courses across all science disciplines. We are the Illinois Mathematics and Science Academy. We want our students to take advantage of everything that we have to offer. Juniors can double up in both semesters, take one math or two more courses. That could be a combination to math or science course each semester. We advise our students in the College and Academic Counseling Office to really take courses that they're passionate about, they're excited about, courses they want to explore. And those meetings are very important. And a lot of our students do come in and we are able to sit down and talk to them about the different courses. We also have, and you'll hear me talk about a little bit later, we offer a mini fair on our courses, an electives mini fair, which the faculty are present. It's an opportunity for students to visit each department, if you will, to talk about the different courses, to learn about the courses and see what options they have. So we really ask the students to, choose courses that they really would love to be a part of and learn a lot about. We encourage them to once again choose the science and math alternates and be fully committed to taking alternate courses. So that's why it's important in the course selection process, which I'll break it down a little bit further. That process is very important, which particular classes students decide to take and be a part of, because we want them to not only love the class or learn a lot, but also be successful in it. Student schedules should be challenging, but not overwhelming. So we're always asking them to find their place and find their pace, if you will, because they're allowed to, as you know, to take up, we have 8 mods, so they're allowed to take up to 8 courses, and sometimes that's impossible. So because of the way the schedule works in Power School, but even if a student takes up to 7 courses, we always advise students to really look at classes they're interested in, but making sure that they can handle that type of load, but making sure it's not overwhelming for them. Next slide. So for our sophomores, this particular slide is particular for our sophomores. Earlier in the year, we met with our sophomores during navigation. The CACs had a separate navigation sessions. We had 2 of them with the whole sophomore class. And one of the things we started them on is their 3-year planning guide. This guide will need to be completed in the month of February. We got them started on it. And so we asked them to map out a 3-year plan. This 3-year plan will also be sent to the parents once it's completed. So in February, when we start the course selection process, we have next week, next Wednesday from 9 to 11 is another big meeting about course selection. The faculty will be present, I'll be present, and we'll talk about the graduation requirements. We'll talk about the different courses, the courses that are offered, and also the other opportunities at the school like SIR, internships and things like that. But most importantly, we'll begin to give students the opportunity to plan out their schedule so they can forecast what they want to do. And once that happens, they'll be invited to the CAC office to sign up for an individual meeting with their CAC. And then during the extended break in February, after the mini fair, we ask them to go to the fair, talk to faculty, and then once they get a course selection sheet, then they'll have an opportunity to talk to their faculty about different courses. And yes, we can send a link to the 3-year plan. I can do that. And I can email it out, actually. I'll do that. Just send out as a mass email. So thank you for that chat. I just seen that pop up. And we want to make sure, though, that you look at it when the students come home. They're going to have a course selection sheet. There is a place for it where we ask you to sign off for our sophomores and our juniors. And then we ask that when they come back, we'll sit down with them and plan out their schedule. Next slide. So once again, if you go on the IMSA website, go to the CAC page. This is a very comprehensive page. There's a wealth of great information there. And one of the most important links there is the course catalog. then the course selection, and right there is that planning guide I was talking about. But as I said before, I'll send out a link to everybody. But that helps you navigate some of the things that I'm going over now, but also it gives you quick access to some of the things that your child should be talking to you about. Next slide. So let's talk a little bit about logistics. So last week, the juniors met with their CACs to review their graduation requirements and to go over elective offerings. So, and our sophomores, once again, we've already started the course selection process, but we got a big meeting coming up which the faculty will be a part of, and that's on the 25th at 9 o'clock in the auditorium. So the first, February 1st, we'll have an electives mini fair. It'll be held in the gym. We'll be using the main gym and the West Gym. And each and every single department will be present. And this is, if you think about it, like a college fair. They'll have tables, they'll have displays, they'll have student presentations. They'll even probably have speakers as well, just for our students to just see what classes they can take, to talk directly to the teachers who teach the classes, to learn about what the classes can prepare them for, and which classes they may best fit some of their preferences. In February as well, students will meet with their teachers once. We'll give them a course selection sheet, and that'll be the same sheet that they'll keep with them. And they'll visit every teacher to get the signatures for the courses that they prefer to take. Once they complete and get all the necessary signatures, that form will go with them on extended. We ask them to take the form home, not only get it signed, but we really ask you to sit down with your child to review the course selection, the classes, and make sure, just there's a conversation about their plan. And as I said before, the sophomores will have a 3-year plan, and the juniors will be just going over the courses that they planned previously, and to make sure that everyone in the house is in agreement about some of the things that they want to get involved in and they want to take and experience. So students will meet with us again for those 10-minute appointments, and sometimes they go longer. Like, for example, last year, some of the students I'd already met with prior to the meeting, so I knew their plan, talked to them on a regular basis. So they came, in some cases, it was a 3-minute meeting, because the students will pre-enter all their courses in Power School. So by the time they come to the meeting, the reason why I scheduled for 10 minutes, the CACs are really just following up, making sure that they got the proper signatures, that they met all prerequisites, and that the parents signed off. So what we will do is match what's on the form in Power School, and there's an approval process we go through, and we will submit those course selections, and Power School will later, as you know, generate a schedule sometime in July or so. Next slide. So this is what the course selection sheet looks like. That's the junior one. There's a senior one as well. And so as you can see right there, the teachers, the students will fill in the courses they want. You'll see math, and it goes to every area, especially the 5 academic areas. And in some cases like math, they need the teacher's signature, and you'll see TC. They also need the team coordinator signature for that. And on the back of it, you'll see where on the back, we put the registration process on there, so you'll see dates. I put dates on there. I just updated it, I think yesterday, to make sure all the dates the students need to know, that you would need to know. There's nothing you have to attend, but I just wanted you to be aware of the dates and the registration process, so you can communicate to your child just in case. Hey, don't forget, there's a fair on February 1st. Of course, mini fair is extremely important. A lot of positive energy, but what I really like about the fair is like the teachers in their class and what they're passionate about is also on full display. Next slide, please. So the add drop process. Once students get their schedules and courses are done, just so you know, on the add drop week will take place during the first week and first I day in August. So senior students submit a secondary school report. Their schedules are pretty much locked in. They cannot change because those schedules go out and those are used in the admissions process to colleges. This means that a senior schedule for both semesters must be completed during the first semester of add drop. So anything that anything that needs to be changed, it has to be for compelling reasons. Other than that, it will remain the way it is. For our other population, students may drop a class or replace it if with a different class during the same mod. So here's an example. If they have an open mod, let's say a student has a mod 3 open and they want to drop that class or replace it. Their fifth mod class with open and mod 3, we will make that change. Students can add any class that fits their current schedule without any changes. So, and that happens a lot. We meet with students on a regular basis to, especially my population. And you should get a copy of our add drop form. Anytime we make a change, we have them complete an add drop form. I sign it, the student signs it. We make sure they meet all the prerequisites. We make sure it's in line with their graduation progress. That's real important because we're constantly checking to make sure that the students have the necessary classes and credits to make sure they graduate with their 17 credits. So that's part of that whole course selection process and also the add drop process. Once again, students may rearrange scheduling mods only for compelling reasons, such as, and this happens, a few times, prerequisite course failure, approved summer school course completion, improper placement at a particular level, or placement in a course not requested by a student. And sometimes, as you know, Power School may generate a particular course that a student has no interest in. So the student is always invited and welcome to come to the CAC office. We practice the open door policy, come and have a conversation. And I really admonish the students to always feel free to come visit us for any questions about anything, but definitely about your schedule. And I would say here, we don't hear a lot from the parents, but I really want to invite the parents to always feel free to call the CACs. Anytime you have a question or you want to set up a Zoom or you just want them to even set up weekly meetings with some breakout rooms and have appointments. I talk to the CACs on a regular basis and we've talked about a variety of ways to continue the conversation. I talk to parents all the time. As probably some of you know, I've been doing Naviance codes for those. If the system didn't generate a code, I'm the person that you would contact if you need your code for Naviance or you need to reset your account or anything like that. And typically, unless there's an error in the system, I reply right away because that's very important. And we will be sending out a video to help because I heard in one of the emails that some of the parents wanted to learn more about Naviance. So Power School is the system that the mother system, if you will, over Naviance. They have several very user-friendly videos. So we can definitely send that out. And we also can set up, just a walkthrough if necessary. But I do encourage you to, as I said before, if you don't know who your student, your CAC always say is, please make sure you know who that person is. Their alphabet is broken down in the website and make sure you reach out to them and start regular conversations. And as you know, we'll be meeting with all junior parents from now until April 21st. So those appointments are already starting to happen. I've already started making a few because we asked them to complete a questionnaire and the students to complete 4 documents that we'll need to use throughout the college application process and their letter writing process. But we'll be inviting the parents in for those one-on-one meetings with the student, with their parents in the room. Usually last about an hour. So those will start, they've already started, I should say, they go until April. So band, orchestra, and choir are year-long courses and may not be dropped at the end of the first semester. Next slide. So once again, we ask students to have meaningful conversations with their current math and science teachers about math and science courses. And I would like to say on behalf of, I only can see it from my advantage point and my view, the students really take advantage of that. I'm in constant communication with faculty about students wanting to double up, go through the BC Fast Track, or just considering their math options. So that seems to be something that students take advantage of. Once again, choose courses they want to take, and do not choose courses because students think they will help them get into college. Remember, that's not part of the college admissions process. Colleges look at their admissions process is vast, and they do have different factors and things they look at, but it's not based upon, especially at IMSA, if it's based upon do they have 4 years of English, not the particular English course. Do they have 2 lab sciences, not which particular chemistry or type of science. And choose alternate courses wisely and be prepared to take them. So for the juniors only, try to complete either wellness or fine arts graduation requirements during your junior year. Once again, the fine arts is only a class or 0.5 credit, and wellness is a credit that they need to take, which will equal to 2 classes. And for our seniors only, consider continuing with world language or starting with a new one. Next. Okay, so this is a list of once again, our contact information. And keep in mind, not only do we have our CACs in our office, but we also have the registrar. Anytime a student needs the mid-year grades go out, that, or you may hear it called the mid-year report. I think this weekend we'll be sending out the mid-year reports for all of our seniors to all their colleges on their list. We'll be sending that out. That process was completed, I think, yesterday evening. We got the update yesterday from Power School, so our administrative assistant, Karen Golson, will upload that information, and then we'll be sending it out immediately after. And I'll send out an email to all of our parents and our students, letting them know that their mid-year report, which is pretty much their transcript, including their first semester of their senior year, goes out to all the colleges on their list. At that point, I'll available for questions about the course selection process, but also general questions. Thank you.
Manny,
yes,
there's a few questions in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, yes, I can reach out regarding Cole. Yeah.
So I posted one question to the chat that may be very earlier. So the later message just squeezed it. So my question is, will the parents, will the sophomore parents be informed too about information about the elective course and the course selection, so that they can discuss with their kids on February about the course selection for the junior year? And another question. And another question, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Another question is, does IMSA provide the summer school schedule, summer school courses where the parents can obtain their information about the school and when?
Yeah, as far as the course selection, the way it's currently set up right now, our course selection meeting is just with the student, and even the electives mini fair on February 1st. So for our sophomores, we have the course selection on Wednesday. That's with all sophomores in the auditorium. And for our juniors, those course selections will be on Tuesday and Thursday. 2 CACs on Tuesday and 2 CACs on Thursday. So the email already went out to those juniors. And then for both populations, for the sophomores and juniors, there's the mini fair on February 1st. So we asked the students to visit there and go, and then come back and meet with the parents to really discuss some of the courses they're thinking about. And as far as the course catalog is on the website, if there's any updates, it's usually done at the end of the year. That course catalog is for the entire school year, so I'll double check it, but I use it every day. And as of now, I haven't been told of any changes to the course catalog. So that should be current and active on the website. And you asked a question about, what was your second question? The one I was just talking to?
The second question is about the summer courses. Is there any information available for the parents to look at, and how the summer courses for the IMSA students to select? What is the arrangement?
Yeah, are you talking about summer courses at IMSA?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, nothing has been decided. Now that's usually done towards the end of the year, as far as enrichment courses and things like that. Any courses taken outside of IMSA, as you know, can't be used towards graduation, with a few exceptions when it comes to working with the math department. But any other courses I'm not aware of at this point, and haven't been told and given a schedule about any other courses offered. But please look at my email. You can send me an email and I can find out for you if there's any type of schedule for any courses that may be offered, and I will get that right to you.
Okay, thank you. There is a one tiny question that I haven't answered. So my understanding is that the parents can access IMSA's catalog of the old catalog if there is no change, for reference about the course selection for the junior year. And IMSA's sophomore students have a time from February to July before the students finally drop the selection decision into the power school to discuss with the kids. I think mostly the discussion is about the elective courses rather than the regular courses, because the regular courses just a set mostly by the school, right? And my tiny question is about, are the elective courses first to come, first to serve, or students just can get enrolled for the elective courses if they just selected to?
Yeah, so really, the students, when it comes to elective courses, they on the course selection sheet, they will put almost like their first choice, second choice, and things like that. So if they're put into a course in Power School that they don't want, say if it's generated automatically, and it happens now, they're always welcome to come to the office, especially over the summer when, say like July, let's say their schedule comes out in July. Once they come back on campus, and there's you can just let them know to wait till they get back on campus, because we have an add drop week, if you will. It's usually 2 days, then we have an additional day just to meet with students who, still have questions, or if they're trying to fix any errors in their schedule per se. So those are individual meetings, and the CACs will work with them to make sure they have the schedule they want. Now, as I said before, we won't make any changes when it comes to like teacher preference or anything like that. And those compelling reasons could be that the student, really wants to take this course, or they put the course down for some reason. It didn't show up on their schedule. But those are individual meetings. We work with them, we go over it with them, and you can have a conversation with them as well. And also feel free to email the CAC if you want to be involved in that conversation. And I've met with some parents who want to, and they've offered some good information, because sometimes they're doing some research about a particular course or class and they want to talk about it. That's an option as well. So just so you know, there's always an opportunity to have a conversation about changing the schedule. But as long as it, like I said, is with the exception of things that are not compelling, if you will. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. I see other questions about the GPA in the chat. I think I should leave the time to other parents.
Let me answer one of the chat questions, and I'll go right to the open question. Is my understanding that the code is individual to the student parent, and you need to contact Mr. Donaldson directly? Yes. Oh, somebody answered that. So if any issue with Naviance, you contact me. So let me just say that. If you have an issue with the code, you have an issue with access, if you have an issue where you can't see, say, you have 2 students in the system and you only can see 1, or you had a previous child who graduated but your new credentials don't work. Any issues with Naviance, you can email me and I will resolve it for you. All right. And I've been doing it. If we got the thumbs up, I'm sure a lot of parents can give the thumbs up or some type of reaction. I've been doing it all week, actually. And I thank you for the emails. And I was glad to help each person, get access or, rectify issue they were having.
Hi, could you answer the question about the GPA that's on chat, please?
Okay, let me, I don't know where it's at, but I can.
Well, I can ask. We are
Okay,
trying to, I'm a junior parent and we are trying to find the cumulative GPA for our daughter on Naviance or other tools, but we are not able to find a place where we can see the cumulative GPA.
And you're a junior parent, you said?
Yes.
Yes, okay, yes, I can answer that. So that's not in the system right now. So what happens is once, right about now, once the grades are done, that the GPA you see in Naviance is what we call an IMSA grade score. So that doesn't include wellness or fine arts, and it does not include the 9th grade year. It's just an IMSA grade score. So you're talking about just once it's in the system, it's up until what they did at IMSA, not including wellness or fine arts. That is put in the system by our administrative assistant, Ms. Golson. And I talked with her on Friday, and I believe she's scheduled to do it this weekend or this week. She was waiting on some updates from Power School, and she told me before we left, she got the information she needed. And now she's her first priority is to get out the mid-year reports for our seniors, for colleges. She needs to upload that information, then the CACs will send it out for every individual student, every individual college. And then she'll go next to working on putting in the IMSA grade score that what you would have access to in Naviance. Does that answer your question?
Sort of. Right now it's blank. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, no, I know it's blank. Only seniors right now would have current seniors could see theirs, but not the juniors. Because the information, she didn't have all the information she needed, Ms. Golson, but as I said before, she now has that information. It's just a matter of getting it in the system, and you should see it soon. And I'm gonna write down to what I will do for the junior parents. I'll write this down. Once that is completed, I'll let you know to go ahead and check. You should see the IMSA grade score for your students, all right?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next
Can
question.
the sophomore parents see the GPA this early spring?
Yeah, not until because they don't have any grades yet. So Power School was just updated yesterday. So they would have first semester grades, but I don't know if they put them in right away, but I will check. And what will be in Naviance will only be, once again, because we don't calculate other schools' report card or GPA. So what you will see in Naviance is strictly IMSA, and it'll be for sophomores, it would just be their first semester at IMSA with exceptions and excluding any type of non-academic courses, all right? And I'm writing that down too, so I'm just writing down a list of things that are coming up now, and I'll get you really a timeline. I know it's done, but I'll let you know when you'll be able to access it.
Manny, one of the parents was asking if the cumulative GPA for juniors would be in by the end of the month, in your estimation.
It typically is, so I would say hopefully, but I'll find out. I'll know for sure Monday morning. But yes, that's usually one of the things that's done around this time. Those are usually waiting on just information in Power School. So yes, it should be in there by the end of the month.
Manny, it's Maria, and I know there have been some questions regarding when transcripts are sent out.
Yes.
If it does include the homeschool, freshman year grades as well. So if you could just clarify that.
Yes. Okay. So when a student requests a transcript, we send out the entire transcript. Yes. So the answer to that is anytime we send out the transcript, we send out what we call a combination transcript. So a combination transcript is their transfer transcript. That means the transcript we receive from their home school and the IMSA transcript, the current one. So that's what we typically send out. But to make it clear, always tell your students when they do a request for a transcript, they do that in Naviance, and our registrar, Roy Abraham, sends those out. There's a notes section. Always let them know anything he needs to know. For example, they put it in the notes. They can let them know this is for a summer program, and they've asked for my 9th, 10th, and 11th or whatever transcript if they need clarity. So the more notes they put in there for them, the more instructions they give him, it'll probably help the process. But typically we send out the whole transcript, yes.
And then if you could also clarify that for any Shmen, does that include any of their prior school?
Yes, anything that yes, it does. Anything that was given to us upon time of admissions in relation to transcripts is what we send out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm a sophomore parent. Can I ask a question about ABS? Will there be a placement test for ABS, for example, to allow students to skip ABS, or it is absolutely required for every student?
Right now, it's required for every student. So I would say no to that, and I would have to we would have to ask the faculty if that's going to be changing. But right now, ABS is a required course for every student. And this is our second year doing that. Last year, I think it was the initial year, but this is the second year that is definitely required for every student.
Got it. Thank you.
Manny, this is Jim. Do you have, or do you know when college fair is? So I can put it on the PAC calendar.
Yes, Jim, it should be the 3rd. Let me see, Saturday in April. I just want to double check. So, yeah, our college day is April 22nd. And our mini fair for those course selection mini fair I was talking about, that's on February 1st. And that's for students only, the mini fair where they'll go meet with all the faculty, big old fair in the gym. But the college fair is April 22nd. And that will be at the end of our family college conferences. They go from now until the 21st. And then we try, the reason why we schedule our family college conferences like that, because we want to try to meet with every student before the colleges come, but also to, hopefully they'll have a chance to, maybe some of the schools on their list will be present, and then the students and family can engage with that particular college that they're really interested in.
And that's for parents of juniors or the family of juniors, right?
Yeah, juniors and some seniors go to the college fair, yes.
Okay.
Historically, sophomores, we don't invite sophomores, they haven't been, but definitely juniors and some seniors are still looking. So, they may just stop by.
Thank you.
And sophomores stop by?
Right now, they haven't been invited. That question just came up amongst our team on, I think Friday, and we have a meeting at Tuesday at 9 o'clock. So we're going to revisit that. I think at least the last couple of years, it was because of COVID restrictions. I know for sure why we didn't do it, but the question came up, is it something we want to think about? And so we decided to table it until Tuesday at 9. And it will boil down to space and, resources and making sure we can accommodate, students. So we'll let you know what comes out of that meeting too. As I said before, what I'll do is I'm going to do a follow-up email I'll give it to the president or the PAC and send it out. I'll do a follow-up to the questions I received here and make sure I'll let you know what's decided about at least college fair, and because there may be some things that I may not be aware of that, and it could be, like I said, logistics, space, security. I don't know. It could be a number of things why we just do juniors for college day. All right.
And Manny, as a follow-up to that, do you do a list of what colleges are coming ahead of time?
Yes. So we put those on Naviance, so you'll see them. It's usually on the homepage. Was that Linda? So those will be on the homepage. So and we usually it's usually up to 100. Colleges are invited even more. And we expect it to be a bigger number this year because a lot of schools, didn't want to do face-to-face, and some of them, as you know, had COVID protocols in place, but I think most, if not all, those have been lifted, and they are excited about coming out. So we expect to have a real robust college day, and we update the list as they sign up and commit to coming. We update the list as we get the names and the commitments on Naviance on the homepage.
As
And
it's April 22nd, it's actually after spring break. So if we take the opportunity for spring break to visit a college campus, it sure would be nice to know ahead of time.
Yeah, so
whether
the
that
list,
college is coming.
usually I'll talk to Ms. Molenhouse. Ms. Molenhouse, Kara is going to be overseeing College Day. I will ask her when she starts populating the list of Naviance, but I think as she starts hearing back, she usually starts updating it as, you know, these are the colleges coming. So, and we also posted outside our office. We put it outside our office so students can see as well. So I'll talk to Ms. Molenhouse and try to get a timeline when we'll know when we start populating that list of invited guests in colleges.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Manny, this is Jen Mock. I have a quick question about our CAC schedule. We're supposed to be meeting with our CAC sometime between now and April. Will
Yes.
CAC have expanded hours to meet
Yeah.
with us, like weekends and evenings?
Yes, each CAC does it differently. So Jen, yes, you can work with your CAC. That sometimes, and I'll give you what's happened in the past. Some will meet earlier. Typically, I want to say 90% are done during the day, Monday through Friday, but we do have some that are done in the morning, meaning before school, because sometimes we may have parents who say that's the only time they're available. And then we do have some that had scheduled at night. I've done many after work. And then some and like I said, every CAC does it individually. Their normal hours are 8 to 4:30, but you want to work with the individual CAC to see if they are available on the weekend, if that's something that you would need. Some have even given students and parents, some are still on Zoom. And I would say that will be an option if a parent is like 5 or 6 hours away and you absolutely don't think you can make it up. I just scheduled one from a family in Carbondale to do it on Zoom. But we would prefer, and most of the students and the CACs would prefer be face-to-face, but we will work with you and to accommodate, to accommodate your schedule and make sure it works for you and your child.
So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Manny, for all the information you shared.
You're
I know
welcome.
that there's still quite a few questions in the chat.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
So to be mindful of everybody's time, and actually we kind of lucked out this month in a way because Dr. Kwaji Anderson had a prior commitment, so she's unable to join us today, and our scheduled speaker session also wasn't able to join us today. So we did have a little bit of more time to expand for these Q&As. So again, thank you, Manny. Do really appreciate that. And what I'll do,
like I said, I should typically be here every month myself. I may have to, because I have a commitment right before, so it's usually at 11. If you're doing any planning, I'm usually available at 11 or a few minutes before, and then I can stay and we can. And I've invited some CACs to join me today. They're at preview day. 2 of the CACs, so they weren't able to come right today, but typically it'd be 2 of us and we'll come and try to answer questions and be available to really connect with the parents. So thank you.
no problem. And also just to remind you, Manny, as well, for you and whoever else will be joining you from the CAC team, we usually do offer these meetings both hybrid in person and via Zoom. So typically we usually have quite a few of us that are on campus.
Okay.
And then this is usually run on Zoom at the same time. So we can definitely work with you to make that fit with the needs. And just to remind everyone too, with our regular meetings with the sophomores, juniors, and senior parents, with our parent representatives, meeting with them, and also with the academic committee, they have also been sharing any types of those questions that are coming up with the CAC team, principal's office, and student life as needed. So we're we're still trying to figure out the best way to get the information out to everybody, but Manny, we do appreciate you being on here and answering so many questions. So again, I wanted to reiterate to everybody that if you put a question in the chat that hasn't been answered, we'll make sure to get that over to Manny so that you can have that and maybe get those questions answered. And if there's ever any information you'd like us to share, we usually do send out a copy of this recording and the slide deck out around Tuesday following the meeting. So this upcoming Tuesday, so you can definitely add that to the email as well. And on the website if you'd like. Okay, so I did want to just kind of share a little bit of experience as well with the college day. As a parent who's attended it in the past, I would ask that if you do expand to including all students being able to go, then maybe think about expanding the time frame, because I know that for some of the colleges, the lines were long, even with it just being junior students. So if it's the same time frame, they might not be able to chat with all the representatives in that given time frame. So I would just say
that could be one of those circumstances. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay, so let me just go through some of these. So as I mentioned, Dr. Akwaji Anderson was unable to join us today, but she should be back, or someone from the principal's office should be back to share updates with us in the February meeting. And just to remind everyone, we will not have our PAC session in conjunction with Parent Day. So it is actually on Saturday, February 11th, which is the following Saturday. So did also want to, remind everyone to go on the PAC website. We do have a lot of information, and that is where the recording from this session, along with the other ones, are housed. And any additional information, like I mentioned, if Manny provides us any information for the CAC office, we can put it on that portion of the website or in the academic committee portion, but you should have that information available. If you have any feedback about how what you want to hear on upcoming sessions, feel free to let us know. Scan the QR code. And if you'd like to donate to the PAC, there's that section as well. Amazon Smile, I know a lot of people purchase on Amazon. As Jen had mentioned, they are closing down the Amazon Smile program in February, but if you're purchasing up until then, feel free to use our Amazon Smile link. They donate 0.5% of eligible purchases back to the PAC. So we might as well utilize it while it's available, right? So again, upcoming PAC session dates. Next one is February 11th at 10 a.m. to 11:30 into as well as via Zoom. And I did want to share that we do have our speaker session lined up for that day, and it'll actually be someone from the security team at IMSA. So they'll be sharing more information and have the ability for Q&A. So that'll be from 11:30 to noon-ish. That's the time frame, but it'll be right after our PAC session ends. So I invite you all to join us, especially if you want to find out more information or have any questions for them. Board of Trustees information, if you're interested in hopping on any of the calls or looking at any of the recordings, the links are here. And lastly, if you have any questions for us, the best way to get a hold of any of us is to send an email at info@imsapac.org. And again, if you look through our website, the PAC website, there's a lot of information on it. So you may have the ability to get some of your questions answered directly from there. And we do have a lot of links back to the IMSA website. So if you have any questions about where to find certain things on the IMSA website, you can go onto the resources page and we have that information. So I'll just see if there's, leave it open for any last minute questions. Go ahead, feel free to unmute because I'm not able to see the chat right now. So any questions?
So I know the time is limited, but I want I just logged into the PAC's questionnaire and asking us to address several things. I think a lot of parents have common questions for three things. The first is how PAC can help IMSA to address an inefficiency in releasing the AMC scores. The second is how IMSA can help students GPA for college application compared to other schools' performance in the GPA calculation. And the last one is how IMSA can help the declining grades for the AP that students have demonstrated since 2017.
Okay, we can definitely pass that along to the principal's office, which I believe would be the best office that could help answer some of those questions for you.
Yes, thank you. As a parent, I just need to see what IMSA can do in the actual situation where the admission offers, for instance, the GPA. So the common answer from the principal's office or other counselors, administrators is that IMSA is so famous that the admission office will know that the students from IMSA. But
hey, Mandy, are you still on the call?
Yes, but let me.
Would you be able to address that real quick? We'll have that.
Yeah. But my question is, or the question that I heard from other parents is that, given the situation that an admission officer will review hundreds and even thousands students' application every day or throughout the whole week, how can they pause for 1 second to see, hey, where this student comes from? And
okay,
I also learned from the business that some companies have used the machine to filter the cover letter to grab the keywords to filter for the first round. So in that sense, if the machine will be adopted in the future, for instance, in the 2 years and 3 years into the future, then how can kids have a lower GPA from IMSA have a competitiveness or the competency to compete with other students with a higher grade, but actually IMSA students perform better than those students from other public schools?
Okay, I'll let Manny take that question if you don't mind.
Yes, let me say the AMC scores, that's definitely the principal's office. That's all done, handled there. But back to the how they calculate, the grades, the GPA, or how would they know IMSA? So here's what happens when we send. I'm a former admissions counselor, so I've traveled extensively and read thousands of applications, done thousands of interviews, and admitted hundreds and hundreds of students. So let me say, part of that process is every school must submit their not only the transcript to the admissions counselor, everything else they ask for in the packet, letters of recommendation, essay, but also a school profile. So you're right. So for example, as a counselor, let's say I got one day, I got 200 applications on my file or on my desk. There was a time where I used to get paper applications, then we went all digital, as you know. So, but either way, there could be at least half of that pack of 100 schools I've never heard of. So that's where the school profile came in. So in that decision-making process, they're like side by side. They're looking at the school profile and they're basing now their decision based upon that school's profile. So they'll know, they may not have ever heard of IMSA, but now they're being introduced to IMSA by way of the school profile, and not only our school, but others. No college right now is using any type of scanning system because it's not needed as far as for, looking for keywords like if you do through the employment hiring process. So that's not happening right now. But if they shifted to something like that, but then some of those keywords will probably already be there that, admissions counselors like myself will be looking for. But most importantly, yes, that happens all the time where schools have never heard of IMSA. They may call us directly or they will look to the profile. If they have any additional questions, they usually call. They're not going to make a decision based upon, I don't know the school, I see this transcript, so I'm just going to make a decision. That's not the process. Because in every school has a record of profiles, so they have a record room. So in there, when they get say if they just happen to, it doesn't happen with us because everything goes digital. But if they happen to get a transcript and an application from a student they never heard of, they don't have the profile, then they go to their record room, because there's people hired to make sure the profiles are there. So that's the decision-making process. The process is transcript. I'm looking at the application, I'm going through. Every school does it different. Some use a point system. The decisions are made by the individual counselor. Some uses a committee. Some hire readers for people to come in and read everything and pre-read and pre-pack the whole file for the ones who's making the decision. Some, as I said, use the point system where they say, okay, for every area, did you submit an essay? What's the quality of that? But as far as the grades and the courses in the school, they have to use the profile to do that. And that's how they learn more about the school and what we have to offer. I hope that it helps you understand it a little bit more.
Hey, Manny, thank you very
And I
much.
will add this too. Let me say this before I go. I talk to, and so do the counselors, every time we have a college that comes, especially when we did those fall college visits, we always ask them, they come from all over. We had over 100 this fall. We always invite them into our office because they're on campus. So what I do and all the other counselors, we always, hey, could you tell us, about when you get our applications, when you look at our letters? We want to know any trends. We want to know, is there anything that they need from us? And across the board every time is we got everything we need. So we're constantly evaluating and updating or trying to make sure we have the best practices that is friendly to an admissions office. And me being from that side, I can tell you there's some things we've already adjusted since I've been there. Because I know a complete file that's the first thing you want to tell a student to have. Make sure you have everything they ask for. If it's incomplete, you just guarantee that you're going to get a decision later, and it might not be a favorable one. So I always tell my students, because if a counselor has to go looking for something, because when they sit down making decisions, that's why that profile is so important. They want everything right there because most of them have 20 to 25 minutes to read an application, and they probably have to do 100 to 200 a day because they also have admissions goals. So colleges are not in the business of rejecting students. They're actually in the business of, inviting students in. The question is the demand issue. There's so many applications, but not enough seats. So the question is, who's going to fill that seat? And so on our side, we're doing everything possible to try to make sure our students are presented appropriately and they have everything they need to make a favorable decision. So I hope that helps.
And lastly, Manny, if you could also share, because I know you had brought it up just in this, your answer, but College Day is not the only opportunity for students to meet with colleges because you invite them to come throughout the school year, right? And
yes.
And that's open to all students, correct?
That's open to all students. Yes. So, and we also have different financial aid presentations. So we have the fall college visits. They usually start in October. That's been our historical date. And they go throughout the, pretty much for about 6 to 8 weeks. So during the fall college visits, a couple of days a week, we're inviting any college that wants to come, and then some of our frequent visitors that always come. And that's during midday, so we make it very comfortable and appropriate and available for students to come. We usually tell students, if you want to come before your lunch or come after your lunch. So the colleges come, students sign up, and then our bigger colleges will put in, as you know, a larger space like the auditorium, but we're always inviting colleges to come, and we're always sitting down with them and just having conversation. That is so important. I can't tell you how invaluable that is. Even when we go on the road, we go visit colleges, as you know, we go on tour, if you will. We go to college visits. The purpose of those visits is to find out what are some of the things they're doing? What are some of their passion points? Has their admissions process changed? What is their application process? And if we're compliant. So when we're looking at our profile, our documents, all of our applications, we're constantly examining to making sure it's what the counselor is asking for, is what they need. And then throughout the year, we're participating in webinars. I'll give you an example. I was in one with UIC, and I was with one of the decision makers, and I stayed over. It started at 7 in the morning. Went there at 7, and I stayed over because I had a lot of questions. I wanted to make sure when it comes to our students, are we doing it the way you want us to do it? And is there anything that you would like us to adjust? That we can adjust. I'm not in charge of our grading system, but I am in charge of what they receive. So those are some of the conversations we're constantly having. So we do welcome that those type of questions. I don't want to hold you any longer because I know we are way probably past time, right?
Yeah, and again, thank you so much for taking those last couple of questions. So again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today via Zoom. Hopefully you're all comfy this morning. And again, I invite you to join us on at our next PAC session, which is February 11th. And also consider joining in on the parent representative meetings, because that's also an opportunity for you to get some of these questions that are more grade specific, and also an opportunity for the parent representatives to then connect with not only Manny, but Dr. Akwaji Anderson, Katie Berger, and other members of the IMSA faculty and staff to get some of these questions answered for you. Okay, so again, thank you everyone. And the recording for this session will be sent out middle of next week, along with the slide deck, and any of the questions in the chat that have not been answered, we'll be sure to get that over to Manny, because I know most of it will be for the CAC office. So again, thank you everyone, and have a great rest of your weekend.